Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. Thanks for being with us this morning. To begin, we start in Venezuela. That's where the foreign minister here, Delcy Rodriguez, has announced that in December, Venezuela will take over the Organization of American States Permanent Council Presidency. Now, she says her country will be a bridge between Latin America and the Caribbean with the United States in a context of mutual respect and cooperation. She spoke of the need to reform the OAS so that it no longer only attends to the imperialist interest of the U.S. and its allies.
Llegó la hora de reformatear la OEA. Ya los pueblos de nuestro continente.
The time has come to reform the OAS. The peoples of our continent have already told North America this in the recent summit of the Americas in Panama. It is time for our countries to unite in cooperation and in friendship. Those ill-conceived times in which our countries were invaded have ended.
And meanwhile, Russian Foreign Relations Minister Sergei Lavrov said in New York that Russia, Venezuela, and other allies are pushing for a resolution against foreign intervention in sovereign nations. Now, he said that Venezuela is a very important partner for Russia. Lavrov also said that Russia, Venezuela, and China would overcome the double standards of the Western countries. Tense scenes emerged from the capital of Honduras, Tegucigalpa, as students blocked a road to denounce corruption. Now, the demonstrators also called for an international commission to investigate allegations of government corruption. The protest action was called by the opposition Free Party, but demonstrations reportedly got out of hand. Student protesters started a fire on one blocked road and reportedly threw rocks at riot police. The demonstration comes after allegations emerged of a $200 million corruption scandal that apparently also involves the president.
Firstly, we demand that the corrupt be punished. Secondly, that the International Commission Against Impunity, because here there are no laws, there is no authority to come from outside and help us combat corruption.
And our correspondent in Honduras now, Gerardo Torres, with more on that situation in Honduras.
On Thursday morning, the main roads of Honduras were blocked by protesters of the National Resistance Front that organized a national strike against the government of Juan Orlando Hernández.
We are here in the streets protesting against all the bad actions of Juan Hernández, who wasn't elected president by the people. He got there by electoral fraud, buying votes. We are here protesting for everything, demanding that the criminals are sent to prison, protesting for what they are doing with the independent media.
The protest is the first of many actions planned by the resistance in coordination with the opposition Libre Party. In the last 2 months, protests were violently repressed by the police and military, but there were no major confrontations at the national strike.
Here in Tegucigalpa, the students protested in front of the National Autonomous University. Other compañeros blocked the road of the east exit of the city in the neighborhood of Villanueva. But this morning they were evicted by the police, and they continue with the demonstration all along the boulevard. A group of campesinos took the road that leads to Olancho. So here in Francisco Morazán, we followed the agreements of the National Resistance meeting of October 1st.
The National Resistance Front was created in 2009 as a response to the coup d'etat and currently is in a reorganization process in order to face the privatization and militarization policies of Hernández's government. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
Also in Central America, El Salvador is seeing its most murders since its bloody 12-year civil war ended in 1992 as violence between street gangs has become more deadly. August was the deadliest month on record with over 900 homicides. 52 were registered in just one day alone. In the first 8 months of 2015, El Salvador has recorded close to 4,300 homicides. And now we're going to take a brief look at some of the other stories making the news around the world.
Russian warplanes destroyed an Islamic State group command center and training camp in Syria. The defense ministry said its Air Force carried out 18 airstrikes that they say were highly accurate from an altitude of about 3,000 miles. They indicated at a logistics center in Idlib province and a command point and fortified facility in Hama province were destroyed. Russia began airstrikes in Syria Wednesday. Syrian experts spoke of the efficiency of Russia's military.
There is no doubt that Russia has more advantages than others in terms of military, because they have more sources of intelligence than others, especially the intelligence related to warfare on the ground. Moreover, they have a military presence in the war zone, so they have more advantages militarily.
President Vladimir Putin responded to mainstream media manipulation of the Russian airstrikes. He said civilian population was not hurt in Syria as a result of the Russian airstrikes. He condemned the U.S. coalition for carrying out airstrikes in Syria without a UN resolution or the approval of the legitimate and democratic government of President Bashar al-Assad. He wants to get said Moscow objective, it's specifically against terrorist organizations.
As to different information in the media, saying that there are civilians among the victims, we are ready for these informational attacks. I'm drawing your attention to the fact that the first information about victims among the civilian population appeared before our planes were in the air.
A lone shooter opened fire at the UMPQUA Community College in Oregon, killing at least 10 people and injuring 7 more. He later faced off with police who shot and killed him. This was the 294th mass shooting reported in the United States this year, in which hundreds have been killed and over 1,000 injured. After the tragic incident, an emotional President Barack Obama angrily repeated that gun laws needed to be changed. He admitted there was at least 1 gun per person in the U.S. in the hands of civilians.
Somehow this has become routine. The reporting is routine. My response here at this podium ends up being routine. The conversation in the aftermath of it, we've become numb to this. We talked about this after Columbine and Blacksburg, after Tucson, after Newtown, after Aurora, after Charleston.
The Taliban extremists went on Twitter to claim they had gunned down a U.S. transfer plane, killing at least 11 people, including 6 U.S. troops. The claims have not been confirmed. The Pentagon said the plane crashed upon making its approach to the Jalalabad airport in Afghanistan. The Taliban are known to make exaggerated battlefield claims, and NATO has not yet given details on the causes of the accident.
And now we go to Peru. That's where shamans from all over the country gathered at the banks of the Rimac River in Lima. Now they're taking part in a ritual aimed at warding off the potentially ill effects of this year's El Nino weather phenomenon. The group of 15 shamans used snakes, tobacco, and incense while erecting an infant Jesus of Prague figure while chanting to the spirits. According to experts, this upcoming El Nino will be the strongest ever.
The shamans of Peru have gathered here from 3 regions in Peru: coast, mountains, and jungle. We are in Lima because it's the center of El Niño's force that's going to attack. El Niño is a phenomenon that creates torrential rain, landslides. For that reason, we have put forces into the Rimac River, better known as the Yacumama, or the mother of the water, so it doesn't create misfortunes, death, unnecessary deaths.
And that's what we're covering on this Friday morning here from Caracas. Thanks for joining us this morning. Check out our website for more information on all of those stories. TelesurTV.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Friday.